Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Dr. Phil Epines from the studios of Love Beyond the Sea. I'm going to tackle another relationship question here today. Why is it so hard to let go of someone you love if that someone doesn't love you? I like talking about relationships, so here's another one. Subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea to hear about finding and experiencing marital love. Please comment here or in the community corner message forums. I will link in the description box. Why is it so hard to let go of someone you love if that someone doesn't love you? Can you relate to this situation at all? I can, a little bit. Off the top of my head, I would think that one reason it's hard to let them go is because you have a fear of not finding anyone else. And in today's day and age, I don't know, I think a lot of people feel that way. Before I found my wife 5 years ago, in 2015, I didn't know how in the world I was going to find anyone. I had waited and, thought I tried the right things and thought I looked in the right places. But I just couldn't find anyone. I never got any close calls, but I certainly, I guess you could call it, developed crushes on some women, or one-sided relationships where it wasn't really a relationship. It's just that I had feelings for them. They may not have had it for me. That's probably the closest I can come to this, but I can see it being a real problem, and at some point, this relationship, if it even is a relationship, two-sided relationship, is going to end sometime, and there is this fear that, now you're going to be alone. It was nice to daydream about somebody and, think about them and maybe one day something can happen and it's the best you've got, and maybe it's all you've had in a while, and you feel like, well, this feels safe, kind of like where I'm at, and maybe you even figure there's not a whole lot of potential there, but you also feel like it's better than nothing, and so there's a fear of not finding anyone else. And I can't prove this, but I have a feeling that in some relationships where there is physical violence, physical abuse, that some women stay in those relationships because they're afraid of being alone. That would be the next thing on my list here: fear of being alone. In other words, they might feel, and I know this doesn't make a whole lot of sense from the outside, but when you're in the situation, it probably, you have a different perspective. But I think there's a fear of being alone sometimes, and there's some mistreatment that a person can put up with because the fear of being alone is greater than the fear of the mistreatment in the relationship. There's just a lot of hope that things could be better, and so they put up with it. Let me know what you think about this, because I think we've all seen people in bad situations. I'm not even talking about marriage necessarily, and they stay in those situations, and you wonder why, and there's got to be some reason why. I think one of them could be just the fear of being alone. It also could be an unwavering but unrealistic hope that one day they will love you. So you cling on to that relationship that's one-sided. You love them, they don't love you, but you have this hope that one day they will, and you don't want to let them go and have them give their love to somebody else. So you just hold on for dear life, and that could be very unrealistic and keep you from being open to being pursued by someone that would feel that way about you. So that would be another thing: unwavering but unrealistic hope they will one day love you. And if you have memories of this person, maybe things used to be different. maybe things have taken a turn for the worse, but you do have months or years developed, I mean, invested in the development of this relationship. And so you do have good memories, positive times, and you don't want to let go of those. You just want to see them happen again. That's similar to the point about hoping unrealistically, maybe, so that they will love you one day or love you again. So you have those memories. And the only time I can really relate to this, I guess I kind of allowed myself to fall for someone, and the feeling wasn't mutual, but you can build it up in your mind to the point that it's bigger and more realistic than it actually is. And if that's all you've got, it's pretty valuable. And so you hold on. Not that they don't love you or hate you, that they have bad feelings for you, but you just keep waiting for them, to take a liking to you, and they never do. And you just end up getting your feelings crushed, and you waste a lot of time emotionally when you could be out there looking for someone else. So I guess having gone through that, I would feel like telling people, if right away, realistically, short period of time, you can tell that this person isn't as interested in you, and you're there, not like a long distance thing, but you're there in person, and you just kind of have to sit back and think about the things that you don't want to think about, and evaluate it. And if it seems like there's no potential there, then it's best just to move on and lick your wounds, find somebody to talk to about it, but keep looking. And that's where I was back about 5 years ago. And I didn't have any idea how I was going to find somebody. And then somebody suggested, well, Bob, have you ever thought about looking for someone in another country? And by that time, you know what? I was open to about anything. And so I did. I said, well, I know I have to be married. I just have to be. And I know I can be. I know I can do a good job, be a good husband. So, I signed up for an international dating site. It was called Christian Filipina. And I was married just a couple of months later because I moved very quickly. You can see that in the videos. So, I hope you have somebody to talk to about relationships. If not, I hope you can find that person, or maybe check out some of the Dr. Philippines videos. I could just take my wife and go off into the sunset and never bother with anybody else. But I do know what it feels like, and I'd like to think there's others out there like me that are close to throwing in the towel, giving up, and I would rather see them continue to maintain hope somehow. So hopefully this video resonates with somebody, and whether you find love beyond the sea or you find somebody where you are, I just hope that you can get into a good relationship. I think marriage is the best thing there is. I don't know how that could be disputed. Yes, when it ends in a disaster, that's about the worst thing that can happen. But that doesn't mean that there aren't good women out there and that you cannot find a good spouse. So stay tuned to Love Beyond the Sea for more relationship videos, and please consider subscribing.